going
Does that
through a
mean
life
you're going to let
change.
me move in?
No, I don't have any grab bars. No, unfortunately not.
All right, I guess I'm going to have to find a different home then. I can't move in with you. Hi, welcome to The Root of the Problem. And today I'm joined by Curtis, my son. Well, Curtis has been a plumber for 12 plus years. And actually before that, he helped us with a vacuum truck, and he was vacuuming sewage and stuff like that. So he's got a wide range of expertise, and he's been exposed to a lot of different products. And so I thought I would ask him to join me. We're going to go through a bunch of different products and discuss the good and the bad about each one of these products. So here he is, Curtis. Welcome.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Yeah. So today we're going to talk about shower heads and safety bars. All right. So we have a wide variety of different safety bars that are available, and shower heads as well. So we're going to talk about when should we install a new shower head, Curtis, or how about just start with what are the different shower heads that we have here currently right now, and maybe just give us a little bit of insight on what they can do and the benefits of each one of them.
Yeah, so there's three main types of shower heads I would suggest. So the first one being a fixed shower head, something that is stationary up against the wall, something along these lines here. You do also have variations of that style, rain head 90 degree, or just the fixed 45-degree angle one. We do also have options of a telephone shower, so something along this lines here where you have the hose attached to it. Benefit of that one is you do have the ability to pull it down, cleaning purposes, and just a bit more functional. You can add a slide bar to it to fix it at different heights. And then the third one that's out there is kind of a combination of the both, where it'd be fixed from that 45-degree angle and then have a pull-down hose for you as well. So kind of a bit of a hybrid between the two. So those would be the three styles out there. Fixed, you'd have the benefit of, it's always there. It's not moving around on you. The downfall to them is, of course, for cleaning purposes and utility-wise, it's a bit more difficult. Telephone shower tends to be the more common way of setting up your shower. With that, you have the flexibility of moving around. Downfall to them is the hoses are a bit more susceptible to damage, leaking, and other problems like that. So depending on the setup you're looking for, will kind of vary what you can get. You do also have in some applications the ability to get like a Bluetooth feature to it. So the technology is kind of going into them as well now.
And this type of shower head here, you see these, like a raindrop shower head type of thing, right?
Yeah. You'd usually see something like that in an application where you'd have the 90-degree shower arm that comes out, usually about 18 inches off the wall. And they tend to have a little bit less water pressure, so that's one thing that a lot of customers have brought up is they've switched to a larger shower head like that with a lot more diameter. And then they run into an issue where it's kind of just falling out, and that is the design of them. They're not meant for high water pressure. They're meant to be kind of falling out of a direction right above you.
So is it recommended to have a couple of different, you have a diverter so you can have one sort of coming from the wall, one coming from the ceiling sort of deal?
Yeah, exactly. There's a couple ways of doing it. What I generally recommend to somebody, you usually see these either coming out of the ceiling or out of the wall. I generally recommend if somebody hasn't used them before to go with them out of the wall, so that way they have the ability to adjust it to a standard 45-degree angle if need be, if they don't like the overhead.
And then, so you were talking about Bluetooth, you were talking about different shower heads, stuff like that. Is there any other functionalities like body spray, stuff like that? I mean, there's no end to it, I guess.
There's pretty much no end to it. They do have spa systems where you have multiple body jets, you have multiple shower heads. So really the sky's the limit, and the wallet's the limit on how much you want to spend on them. You can get some pretty elaborate systems that range in the thousands, but to give you the benefit of body jets, give you the benefit of multiple shower heads. When you get into those systems, though, you do have to watch out to make sure that your infrastructure, your water system can handle that much output at one time. A lot of older houses, for example, only have half-inch water lines where that may not be enough volume to put multiple shower heads through at the same time.
So if someone was looking to get body massages, increase it, put multiple shower heads, stuff like that, they should take that into consideration, the supplying of the water piping. you know, whether it's large enough to accommodate that volume of water coming through, right? So that would be something they'd have to consider when they're looking this over.
Even something as simple as the material. Half-inch PEX versus half-inch copper has very different inside diameters and they're very different volume outputs.
Okay, so if somebody's looking for that, then they need to take that into consideration. Okay, all right, grab bars. So really, a couple different types of grab bars here. Maybe just go through the grab bars. Give us a little bit of an enlightenment on what each one could do and the benefits of having them. For sure. And stuff like that, yeah.
So with these grab bars here, these are all from a company called Healthcraft, based in Ottawa. So there's a couple different designs to go through. So we do have the standard grab bars, something that you would place either on a 45, horizontal or vertical against the wall. With these guys here, you do have the option of going a couple different finishes and also a couple different ways of installation. You can do wall anchors that are rated up to 300 pounds, and then putting it into a proper wood backing would give you closer to about 500 pounds, which would be the ADA compliance for both of those. With the stainless finish from them, you can also get it knurled, meaning that you have this diamond etching inside of it, gives you a little bit more grip. And with Healthcraft, they've designed a couple different styles. For example, this guy here, which goes around your shower valve. So you'd have your shower valve right here, gives you something to grab onto in case you do lose your balance inside of there. One issue that they've kind of found is when somebody is falling, they kind of grab for anything. So having multiple different grab bars in there is a good idea, especially when you're dealing with a shower valve that you could accidentally hit into the hot position while you're in a vulnerable position. They do also have a couple different options for grab bars where you'd have shelving built into them. So again, benefit of setting everything up in your shower that you can grab onto in the case of an emergency would be a great option for anybody. So they have here one set up for a corner and then one set up for a long wall for those grab bars with shelves.
So you can go ahead and put your soaps, your bottles of soaps, whatever you normally have, either sitting on the tub or whatever. You can use these to be able to accommodate them in a corner or on the wall, and then you have the one for the over top of the faucet. So in a lot of cases, based on your experience, have you noticed that in a lot of cases, not in all cases, but the toilet is right beside the faucet, which is like they're all on the same wall? Do you find that the toilet is in that area, or is it typically the faucet's got an easy access to it and then the toilet's on the back wall? Well, how do you find that? How do you find that people get access to their faucets? Do they have to reach in there, lean?
Quite often that's the case, yeah. In a lot of mass-produced homes, Minto homes, Mattamy homes, they put it kind of everything in line where you'd have the shower, the toilet, and the lavatory kind of all on that same wall. So quite often when somebody's even converting from a bathtub to a shower, you now have that door in place, makes it very difficult to actually get to the water and turn it on without getting wet in the process. So adding something like a grab bar will give you that extra little bit of safety factor when you're reaching in to turn the water on. And even just with that transition in and out of the shower, that's going to be your most vulnerable position. You're in on one leg, you're in a slippery surface. So having a couple of these in there will kind of give you that benefit and that peace of mind.
Yeah, I find that when I would go in and turn the faucet on or whatever, you don't realize it, but you are putting yourself, you're extending over, maybe a little too much. Got to get around the toilet, and then you're going to turn the faucet on, and you're typically on one foot. You're balancing yourself. And in some cases, do you find that you're replacing a lot of handles? Are people like grabbing the handles instead of and then maybe perhaps damaging the faucets?
So I actually find it's not so much the faucets, it's the soap bars, soap dishes, and towel bars. A lot of people have that mistake, especially in a 90s home where you have that, the soap dish built into the wall, or 80s or 60s even. Or even a couple designer towel bars in there that are really just meant to hold a wet towel. People are kind of mistaking those for safety devices. In most cases, they're just held in place by a standard plastic wall anchor. So not something that you do want to be grabbing onto in an emergency. But that's surprisingly enough something that I find a lot of people put a lot of faith into where they really should not.
Towel bars
and soap dishes.
Okay. So just backing up a bit, you had mentioned two different types of strength. For the towel bars, soap dishes, whatnot. So you're saying that one is 300 pounds, so it'll take 300 pounds of weight, somebody's weight?
Yeah, you got it. So essentially they have wall anchors that utilize the drywall and the structure of the wall itself. that are very oddly shaped, but kind of designed to put the strain throughout the entirety of the wall, not just that one spot like you would see with a drywall anchor. So with that, it's tough to say exactly how much strength they will hold because it really is determined on how your structure is built. But in an optimal situation, they're good for 300 pounds, which is the ADA's requirement for a wall anchor to support a human in a safety application. If you are able to, we'd always recommend getting wood backing in behind their studs, something where you can take these flange areas right here and get multiple screws inside of them. So that way there, you know what I mean, you're not just relying on the drywall and how it's fastened to the wall, you're relying on the whole structure of the home to kind of keep it there.
Okay, and for that one there, you could pretty much put it in an existing wall, so you don't necessarily have to have a brand new wall, you don't necessarily have to have backing. You would put these inserts in, and they're specifically designed for that particular application. So drill through existing wall, drill through existing tile wall, put them all in these different areas. Okay, and then the second way of going about it was more 500 pounds, I thought you said, yeah? So how is that one, how does that look? Well, how does that happen?
So that would be something we generally see in an application where we're rebuilding a shower. We have access to the studs inside the walls to add additional bracing in there, 2x4s, 2x6s to hold things in place. For example, these wall anchors can be used for a folding bench seat, but you can imagine with a folding bench seat, depending on the human being, 300 pounds sitting down, you know what I mean, and the force of a person sitting of that size can sometimes, you know what I mean, be more than 300. So we'd want something in behind there for a little bit extra strength. So when you're relying on the structure of the house, it gives you the benefit of that whole wall would have to come down to really rip that stud out, that grab bar or that seat out of place, which just gives you that bit more of a security factor.
Okay, all right, so the second option to get the 500, you basically got to put backing in, so you're removing the existing drywall, whatever's there, and you're putting backing in, and then based on the backing, knowing where the backing is, then that's where you would put the grab bar.
Yeah, and in some applications, we could open up the back side of the wall, put the backing on the other side, repair the drywall. So it's not something that necessarily requires you to demolish the bathroom to get to, but there are some ways around it.
That's a good point, right? So if you have a bathroom, and then on the back side of that bathroom where you want to put the grab bar, bedroom, closet, whatnot, you're just opening drywall and not damaging existing tile if you don't want to. So that's a great idea. That's a great point. So now these ones look a little fancier than the ones that I grew up with and when I first got into plumbing, and the ones that I would see are mostly like these two here, very institutionalized and stuff like that. And then when I'm looking at these ones, like there's some pretty neat, they came out with some pretty neat stuff, and having this over this crescent grab bar over the faucet, I find is a very good addition. But there's also some for towels and loofahs and stuff like that as well, right?
Yeah. So they've really, Healthcraft has kind of really jumped up with regards to trying to make more designer grab bars. So they do have some for loofahs, like you had mentioned. They even have some that go outside the wet area. So you can get things like bars that would come down to help you get off the toilet that can fold out of the way, as well as like even toilet paper holders, something that you could have off to the side, doesn't look much more different than any other toilet paper holder, but gives you that benefit of a pulling force on the side of the toilet if somebody requires it. So, and again, for the most part, they've stepped it up designer wise. Like even these grab bars here come in, I think 5 or 6 different kind of finishes. You can get them in two-tone finishes where they're black and stainless, for example, or black and chrome, so you can kind of really color coordinate with what you're going for in that bathroom.
So what are the colors again?
They're
different finishes?
Different finishes. The common ones would be black, stainless, and chrome, but you can also get combination finishes. So some that have, for example, the shelf being chrome, the bar being black. In some cases, some shower doors, for example, some shower systems have two-tone colors, so you can kind of help coordinate that coloration.
Okay. All right. Well, that's very interesting. And, you know, old man talking to young man, do you feel that this is just something, you know, for the, you know, the seniors and stuff like that? Like what you've witnessed, all the different bathrooms you've put together, would you say that it's more suited for a particular age group, or what is your thought on that?
I think a particular age group thinks about it quite a bit more than a different one. For example, the younger generation wouldn't necessarily think of this as something to put in their home that they would require. On the other token, I get a lot of people that would be in their late 20s, early 30s that are doing bathroom renovations with the foresight of resale. You know what I mean? And having something in there that can kind of, you know what I mean, act as a convenient storage space for some who just need storage, or a grab bar for those who need storage, kind of give you that versatility of a nice setup, but, you know what I mean, more utilitarian, more appealing to the masses. It tends to be one of those things where people have in their mind grab bars are, like you had mentioned, institutionalized looking devices inside your shower, something that only the, you know what I mean, the meek and meager require, but it's, you know what I mean, with Healthcraft, with these styles, you can really make a nice bathroom, but have that safety built into it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I mean, you just see, you know, getting in and out of the bathroom. I mean, you could have the best balance ever, and there's a little bit of water on the floor, a little bit of something, and it seems like we take a lot of chances going in and out of the bathroom without even thinking about it. Where, you know, if we had a grab bar, if we had something that we could you know, reach for or get in the habit of using, it might lessen the chances of us falling. The fact that they're stylish and stuff like that, I mean, it's compared to the institutional ones. I think that, as you say, you know, if you are renovating or whatever, and you can take in mind, you can put this in. It's a great added safety feature, but it does also appeal to more people. They see it, and, you know, your demographics, you know, increase, you know, the people that might be interested in this sort of stuff.
Yep. We're also seeing a lot of times where, you know what I mean, somebody who does own a home is taking in a family member who doesn't, you know what I mean, quite have that that ability to stay on their own, or is going through a life change.
Does that mean you're going to let me move in?
No, I don't have any grab bars. No, unfortunately not.
All right, I guess I'm going to have to find a different home then. I can't move in with you. All right. Well, do you have anything else to add on this? You mentioned the seat. You mentioned the seat, and we don't have one here to show our
unfortunately not. But yeah, there's a really nice factor. I do get asked quite a bit when looking at bathroom renovations about seating inside of a bath area. A lot of times people do look at that as their only option, being a tiled shower base with a built-in tile seat, or something along those lines, or a shower base that's acrylic with molded seating built into it. And that's an option, you know what I mean, but it tends to be very limited. If you're doing a tile base, to get a bench in there is quite an expense, quite a high cost involved, and then you're left with a fixed bench that takes up 30% of your showering area. Same thing with the molded. You tend to be on a very limited, you know what I mean, spacing wise setup when you get a molded shower, fiberglass molded shower. So these seats here that we're referring to, they have either teak or bamboo seating, either aluminum or stainless metal brackets, and can be fastened to the wall. The nice thing about them is they would have a folding pivot to them. So if somebody needs it, it can be folded down really easily, and if somebody doesn't need it, you can fold it out of the way. So when you're dealing with a shower that's, for example, 48 inches wide, you know what I mean, having a bench in there, a seat, is your entire showering area. So if you need it, that's great, but if you don't, you're kind of forced to use it. So that's a nice way of kind of getting that seating you need without, you know what I mean, compromising that showering area.
So if you have a, you know, smaller base and stuff like that, you can still put the seat on, rather. Mm-hmm. Shower seat, you can still put it on and then fold it up, take it down, put it back up, depending on which member of the family is using it, whether they need to use it or not, and then another member of the family can come in and just flip it up, and then they have the full use of the shower base. Yep,
we've even gone as far as putting slide bars next to those seats, sort of thing. So in an application where somebody has, you know what I mean, a telephone shower like this, you could take it from the fixed area that would be at the top, and then kind of have it off to the side in a position where it's you know what I mean, facing closer to the seat itself. To give that person using the seat the ability to kind of, you know what I mean, wash themselves and bathe themselves freely.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, there you go. I think we've touched on all of these things. If anyone's interested in talking a little bit further about this or would like more information, please reach out and let us know. Appreciate your time, Curtis, and I guess we'll catch you on the next one. Right on. Thank you very much.